imposing 25% duties on imports from the two countries. And 60% on goods from China. Such duties would tear up long-standing trade agreements, including the U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, upend supply chains and raise costs, according to trade experts.
That was Reuters correspondent Olivia Zolino. Israeli Army Chief Herzi Halevi said Tuesday he will resign on March 6. In a letter to Defense Minister Israel Katz, Halevi accepted responsibility for the massive security failure on October 7, 2023, when Hamas militants from Gaza carried out a cross-border attack on southern Israel, killing 1,200 people and capturing 250 hostages. Israel's counteroffensive in Gaza has killed more than 47,000 people, most of them women and children, according to the health ministry in Gaza. Israel says it believes Hamas is still holding 101 hostages, including 35 the military says are dead. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has refused to answer questions about assigning blame for the attack, saying that such an inquiry could wait until after the war ends. In sports, a legendary outfielder and two-star pitchers are among this year's inductees into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. Here's AP correspondent Gethin Kulba.
Ichiro Suzuki has become the first Japanese player chosen for baseball's Hall of Fame, voted in along with CC Sabathia and Billy Wagner. Suzuki received 393 of 394 votes from the Baseball Writers Association of America. Sabathia was on 342 ballots and Wagner on 325. The trio will be inducted into the Hall at Cooperstown on July 27th, along with Classic Era Committee inductees Dave Parker and Dick Allen. I'm Gethin Kulba.
That wraps up this update, but the world and news never stop. For additional updates, visit our website, voanews.com. I'm Richard Green, VOA News.
That's right. Welcome back to the program Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. My name is Matthias Labindi. Today is the 22nd day of January 2025. And we are here every weekday morning, Monday to Thursday, to talk about issues about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world. We highlight these issues, not because if they doesn't fall, the issues we highlight, if they do not fall in the proper way that you expect them to, and then maybe it comes out to be harsh on you, doesn't mean that we hate you, but it's because we are revealing, we are recommending, we are at the same time having these conversations as a people so that we can make a difference together. Welcome to the program. This morning we're privileged to have with us the Director General of the Agricultural and Industrial Training Bureau, Mr. Ibrahim Billy. Mr. Billy has a long history in civil society. Mr. Billy holds a master's degree in agriculture and economics, and he's here this morning to talk about this institution. I know some of you do not have an understanding of some of these autonomous agencies and also what they do. All right. before I speak with Mr. Billy, I just want to inform you quickly that there is a high-level delegation of of Egyptians that are expected to be in Liberia today, and they're going to be here to develop a national aquaculture strategy, which will inform investment decisions, identify short, medium, and long-term goals, and will address the fish deficit on Liberia's domestic market. According to the information, this strategy will transition Liberia's aquaculture from underperforming subsistence farming, fish farming, to commercial fish farming. And this is a good news from Emma Metia Glasgow again, the head of the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority. A couple of days ago, I read also on social media from some other individuals showering praises on the current, my guest this morning, Director General Abao, in less than no time, I think in less than a year, and he took over the institution, the Agricultural and Industrial Training Bureau, about transformation. So when you put people in areas that they belong, you get to see them doing extremely well. But we have some specific questions to ask about this institution. We do not know much about it, but it's good that he made it here early this morning. And in fact, the guest came before the presenter. Met him in the building. Good morning, Mr. Berry, and it's a pleasure having you. Welcome, sir.
Good morning, Matthias, and good morning to the listening audience. Thank you for the invitation. I think this is the first time interacting with you here.
Right. On this
we have interacted me several times on the Forest Hour show.
Right.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
How is it? How is your role? I mean, coming up from civil society, I think CSFRM something, and yeah, I mean, you working with different organizations, different NGOs, in the forestry sector, natural resource sector. Can you say that your engagement, your work in the civil society prepare you for the role that you occupy today in government?
Certainly. As you said rightly, my academic qualification is in natural resource. And I also have worked extensively in the natural resource sector since I returned from study, 2016. So yes, the work I have done with the different institutions, including government, ministry and agency, the civil society organizations, international organizations, yes, prepare me for this task.
Okay, so what is this institution, the Agricultural and Industrial Training Bureau? What is it?
So the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau actually was established sometime back in the 70s by the late President Todba, and begin formal in 1981 by Decree 56 under the then President Samuel Kanyado, and the institution has actually been there since 1981 as a government entity. It is autonomous. It is in the educational sector. The Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau has several mandates. The Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau was established along with the National Council on Technical and Vocational Education and Training, TVET. So there is a National Council on Technical and Vocational Education and Training, and that National Council is the policy arm of the TVET programs across the country. The Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau serves as a secretariat to that National Council. So the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau, since its formation, has been supporting the work of the TVET programs. It has several mandates. Like I said, it is responsible to lead on curriculum development, standardization of TVET curriculum. It is responsible to lead on compliance monitoring of the technical and vocational education programs. It is responsible to lead on examination of technical and vocational programs. It is responsible to make policy decision, within the TVET programs or the TVET sector. So the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau works directly with the National Council on TVET to ensure the TVET programs are regulated and the TVET programs are effective in delivering the needed workforce for our country.
You know, as you're providing the information, as powerful as this institution is, how visible is it? Is it only visible to its beneficiaries, the direct people it deals with, or I mean, why is it not heard of like that? Is it because it's not into controversies?
I think let me say thank you to President Joseph Numa Boakai for the appointment May last year, May 2024. Since the war, that was the first time appointments were being made to the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau. Earlier in 2006, when President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf took over, there was a management team constituted at the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau by the then Minister of Education. So that management team has been the one steering the affairs of the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau since 2006. So the management team did not have political will to be able to engage in some of the different areas that the Bureau actually is supposed to deliver on. That particular that management team also did not have the capacity, I mean the technical, the resources, and I mean even the human resource there at the time was very low. So I mean most of the many areas of the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau were actually left unattended to.
Okay.
So the appointments made last year saw some life within the institution. And since then, we have been working to transform, to revamp, or to rebrand the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau. Unfortunately for the TVET sector, in November of 2024, the president also made appointments of the council members.
Right.
The council members include the Ministry of Finance, is a statutory committee, a council, statutory council. The Ministry of Finance chairs the council, the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport, Ministry of Labor, Public Works, Liberia Chamber of Commerce, several of, including the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, the China Union. There are several other institutions. I will share the list with you. There are about 11 council members on the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau Council.
What do they do?
So the council is responsible to make policy decisions within the TVET sector.
Okay.
So the council is, working with the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau to identify the different issues within the TVET sector, and then make revision of the different policies within the TVET sector, and then support the smooth running of the different TVET programs.
Where is your office located?
The Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau is situated within the compound of the Monrovia Vocational Training Center.
Okay, MVTC.
Yes.
Right. Like I said, and I know many people, even folks that may be interested in the agriculture sector. So let's look at policy areas or policies in general as an institution. There is something I read somewhere about curriculum development. Does that mean you work with the Ministry of Education to develop the national curriculum for academic, operations during every year, or depending the period?
So yes, Matthias, I agree with you. Like you, there are many other out there, even including myself. It was last year that I got to know about the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau. So the bureau,
meaning you didn't pitch yourself for the job like many would do, reach out, say I want this job.
No, in my case it was different.
Okay.
So the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau actually works around 3 different training program areas: the agricultural training programs, the commercial training programs, as well as the industrial training programs.
Okay.
So the bureau, regulates the different training programs, not only agricultural training programs.
Okay.
So yes, on the issue of curriculum development, that is, very high on our plate for 2025. In fact, is the first priority for 2025. The challenge the technical and vocational education and training institutions across the country have been facing has been standardized curriculum.
This
So-
curriculum, is it about TVET or is it about the national curriculum?
It is about TVET,
Okay.
national curriculum for TVET programs.
Okay. So sorry. So in other words, if this curriculum is prepared, it means that anyone establishing a technical and vocational education institution will have to operate according to that curriculum.
So it begins with different policy instruments that have been developed.
Okay.
So the government has worked with development partners to develop what we call the National Qualification Framework. The National Qualification Framework has several other conditions that the technical and vocational education and training institutions should follow. There is also a national guidelines and tools on how the different TVET programs should be structured and how they should be operated. So the standardization of curriculum actually came about when the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau last year, following our appointments, launched this gap analysis within the TVET sector. We realized that a number of TVET institutions across the country are operating on syllabus and guidelines. So many of them don't have standardized curriculum to operate with. So there are also number of curriculums being developed by the different projects. That are being funded by the European Union,
Right.
the USAID, the UN. Number of curriculums have been developed for different TVET institutions. So what we want to do this year is, working with a small technical team, we want to bring on the table all of the existing TVET curriculum.
Okay.
All of the existing TVET curricula to be able to review them, look into the different TVET curriculum and see, what is it that, important to keep? What is it that we need to get out of?
Is there a way of
existing
synchronizing of when you review them? It means that do you want to make sure that all of the TVET institutions have one curriculum?
Yes, so this is what we actually intend to do. When the standardized curriculums are developed, we expect that the different TVET institutions across the country, because the curriculums will be rolled out to the different institutions across the country, and that the TVET institutions, say for example, the National Qualification Framework has 7 levels of the TVET programs, which are actually clustered in 3. So you have level 1 up to level 7. Level 7 is actually at the point of degree granting. So you have them clustered into 3. The first is the basic, the second intermediary, and then the third advanced. What we see most of the institutions involved with across the country actually are the basic. They are at the basic level.
Okay.
And for TVET to improve to intermediary and advanced, we need to standardize the curriculum. We need to develop curriculum for all of the different programs within the basic area, also the intermediary and at the advanced level, so that for example, the TVET institutions in Grand Gide will not be different in terms of the capacity that the skills that they are, the skill set that they are providing, or the capacity that they are building will not be different from what is currently being offered at the NVTC, at NVTI, and other institutions in Mosserado, in Margibi, and other places.
Let's look at capacity building. Does it have to do with the staff, internal staff, or capacity building of beneficiaries of the ARTB?
It is both. Capacity building for the internal staff, but here the emphasis is actually on the TVET trainers and TVET administrators. So to ensure that the different national policies are enforced, are being implemented, the different actors within the TVET sector should be knowledgeable to these policies. So we are currently developing different training materials that we'll be using to administer training for the different TVET administrators and the trainers in different TVET areas or 3 areas. So yes, the capacity building is actually focused on the TVET administrators and the TVET staff. Even though at the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau, there is also a need for capacity building for the staff there to be able to ensure compliance within the sector.
What is this administratory tests? What does it mean? So like we all know the WAEC, the WAEC or the WAS. Annually there is this knowledge measurement test that WAS is actually administering, or WAEC is also administering. In the TVET sector, there is 3 tests administered annually in other countries in order to ensure knowledge measurement and also to build trust and confidence in the TVET graduates. So, for example, of recent, the challenge has been that most of the skilled laborers are being imported to our country, and largely this is because the level of trust in the skill set that we are producing is low, and the confidence, is also not there, or is low. We need to, following the rollout of the different policy instruments, we will be administering trade test to the different TVET graduates, and that trade test will give confidence to even the graduate themselves that at the minimal level, or they have met the minimal requirements of a particular level within the TVET sector. Say, for example, the basic or intermediate or advanced, or level 1, level 2, up to level 7. So yes, the trade test will be administered. We intend to do that in the last quarter of this year to be able to measure the knowledge of the different TVET graduates. This time it will actually be a pilot. This time we want to just use this to be able to set the pace for the future. But moving on, after 2025, it will be compulsory to all of the TVET graduates. It will be compulsory that the TVET institutions will have to submit or enroll their TVET graduates or graduating students to the trade test, so that it can be used to establish the capacity at the institution and also within the different products that come from the TVET sector. Looking at the meaning of the acronym ARTB, Agricultural and Industrial Training Bureau, what is your take? What is your compliance, monitoring, and evaluation responsibility? Do you have any task in that in terms of the industry?
Definitely. So, like I said, it is the AITB is responsible for compliance monitoring, because to regulate the sector, you must know more about the sector. You should be able to understand the different issues, the sources and challenges within the sector, so that you can be able to inform decision making. So, for example, the gap analysis that we conducted last year has actually uncovered a lot of different issues within the within the TVET sector, including the issue of lack of capacity. The TVET trainers, most of them are just people who graduate from the TVET programs. They have not gotten advanced education, and there are a number of challenges. Some of them, even the facility, the facility now conducive. Some of them, even though they manage to deliver training in different areas, but you speak to them, they don't understand they don't understand in duty the different programs that they are offering, because they only have guidelines. Yeah, they only have guidelines. Some of them only how do you call it, training, like presentations, materials, PPT, PowerPoint presentation. But if you ask them for the detailed information that the student need to be able to understand the TVET sector or the TVET program that they are involved in, is a challenge. As you are aware, TVET is both theoretical and practical.
Right.
And the emphasis is more on practical.
Right.
So the practical side, the challenge most of the TVET institutions having is the equipment. Yeah, the logistics to be able to take the students through that rigorous practical sessions. So there are a number of challenges. However, there are successes also that we have recorded. So, for example, of the total number of students graduating from the TVET programs, we look at 2022, 2023, and 2024. So 2022 accounts for about 12.53%, and 2023 accounts for a little over 33%, and then 2024 accounts for more than 50%.
Okay.
So you can see the great demand in the TVET programs.
That makes it even much more important for it to be much more standardized.
Definitely.
And professional.
Definitely, and that it can be used to ensure capacity enhancement. It can be used to ensure job creation.
Right.
It can be used to alleviate poverty and even increase on food production.
Let's look at. I'm keen to know what your relationship is with the National Fisheries and Aquaculture Authority, the Forestry Development Authority, the Ministry of Agriculture itself, because I heard you talking about monitoring and compliance, monitoring and evaluation. So if you're doing all of those, what is your relationship with those institutions that I mentioned?
Yes, so we have relationship, but it is more at the training level. So, for example, looking at the Forestry Development Authority, we have a direct relationship with the Forestry Training Institute in Bomi, FTR.
Right.
Yeah. So also looking at NAFA, there are a number of TVET institutions that are involved with different aquaculture programs.
Okay.
So there are some of them who have introduced what we call aquaponic. I don't know if you have followed or if you know what aquaponic is.
No.
Aquaponic is where the farmer or the institution or the cooperative or industry is producing both the fish and the crops.
Okay.
So the technology is so beautiful that the fish are supporting the crops with carbon dioxide, and the crops are in return supporting the fish with oxygen for survival. So both are feeding on each other. The only challenge some of the farmers have expressed to us has been the issue of the feed. Yeah, the feed for the fish, because as a country we are not much into maize production. So most of the feed is actually being imported. We hope that some of the TVET institutions can start to conduct training around that. Also the cooperatives and other companies or industries can also get more involved with producing feed for some of those farmers to be able to access, and then at a much more reduced cost to be able to increase productivity.
Right. Folks, if you're just joining us, you're listening to Sky Morning Live on Sky 107.1. We are here every Monday to Thursday, 7:30 to 9 o'clock. Today is Wednesday, and it's the 22nd day of January 2025. I am privileged to have with me this morning the Director General of the Agricultural and Industrial Training Bureau, ARTB, Mr. Ibrahim Billy is providing us, serious insight in the operation of the institution and the power that it possesses. We're going to open the line shortly to hear from you, but let's take few more comments from him regarding the operation of the institution. I also informed you earlier that there's a high-power Egyptian delegation expected in Liberia today to develop a national agriculture strategy, which will inform investment decisions, identify short, medium, and long-term goals, and will address the fish deficit on Liberia's domestic market. So all of these initiatives are taking place, and we have a young man at the ARTB, that is the Agricultural, Industrial Training Bureau, who's providing us these educational pieces of information so that we can understand what exactly it's about. Mr. Bailey, I asked the question earlier. I don't think I got the answer clearly regarding your relationship with the Ministry of Agriculture, and so regarding, because if you are providing training and your institution is the Agricultural and Industrial Training, then what does the Ministry of Agriculture do?
So the Ministry of Agriculture is directly into implementation of different programs. They are, they support the farmers across the country to increase productivity. They also support training programs. What we do is to regulate the training institutions.
Okay.
So, for example, the agricultural training program that is in Salala, in Bon County, Tumotu. So Tumotu is a TVET institution. It is involved directly into agricultural training. So we work with Tumotu to ensure the training programs that they are actually offering are up to date. And that the agricultural technologies, the new technologies being introduced across the world are also being considered by them, and that different or new programs are included into their training programs. So we work directly with the training institutions that are within the sector. Even though, yes, we have relationship with the ministries, but not to the extent of the direct engagement we have with the training institutions.
So should there be a reason why the Ministry of Agriculture wants to train people today in a particular area, whether technical, and so they have to maybe consult your office or whatever TVET institution that they're choosing to send those people should be an institution that you certify, and then it has all of the basic qualifications and all the technical needs.
And that is actually the point the point I was coming to, because the challenge we have had in this country has been having number of training institutions that are not in compliance. So like I said to you, the gap analysis we conducted last year actually established that most of the training institutions are not registered legally. And some of them, by the time they register with the Liberia Business Registry, the fee, they already, have that authority, and they can go ahead.
They should come to you first.
So this is how it works. So after the Liberia Business Registry, the different formalities are there. And then you also obtain the sector clearance from the Ministry of Education. And then now you come to the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau if it is a TVET institution. If it is not a TVET institution, it's a formal institution. There's no need to come to the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau. If it is a university or college, there's no need to come to the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau. The Commission on Higher Education is responsible for that. But if it is a TVET program, like the university, upon the sector clearance from the Ministry of Education, they move to Commission on Higher Education. The TVET institutions are also to ensure that they obtain competent license from the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau. And the way that is done is for the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau to do due diligence. Conduct an assessment, understand if this TVET institution actually meet the minimum requirements. If not, then they cannot be issued the competent license. So moving on, by the end of this year, what the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau set to do is to ensure that number of TVET institutions are certificated, issue competent license to operate TVET programs across the country.
If not, they're going to be shut down.
If not in compliance, because the Ministry of Justice, for example, is a member of the council.
Okay.
So recommendations will be made to the Ministry of Justice, or let's say the council, and decisions will be made. Definitely, institutions that are not in compliance should be shut down.
There's a department. There is, I think, a deputy minister for TVET, a minister of youth and sport. There's a department there, and so I'm getting somehow confused about how, you know, you have this so much power when there is someone appointed also as minister, deputy minister, or minister of youth and sports, deputy minister for TVET, you know, and so on. What is the role? How do you people, you know, come together and connect your roles in ensuring that the goal is achieved and that is a one goal?
Yes, so there should be no confusion here, because the Ministry of Youth and Sport has a direct mandate, I mean, in the TVET programs area. The Ministry of Education also has mandates, I mean, in the TVET area. And if you look at, if you manage to access the act establishing the AITB, and also the Ministry of Youth and Sport and the Ministry of Education, it will actually inform you on the different roles that the different government institutions have to play. So, for example, the Ministry of Education is managing all of the formal educational institutions, the high schools, as well as the high school that have the pre-TVET programs within them. So they do that through their principals, through their DEOs, through their CEOs. So the Ministry of Youth and Sport is also managing number of TVET institutions across the country. My understanding is about 11 TVET institutions that the Ministry of Youth and Sport is responsible to manage.
Okay.
So they are managing those institutions. And what the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau is simply doing is to regulate, to ensure that all of the management, all of the different institutions, not only the public, even the private institutions, the commercial institutions, the industrial institutions are in compliance. So, I mean, the mandates are clear. The Ministry of Youth and Sport, the Ministry of Education, their mandates are also very clear. So the the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau is just to regulate to regulate the TVET programs. So we got no managerial power. So we are also not a training institution. So, for example, the basic link here is when you call the name, more people feel that you are also into training. So there are a number of colleagues who have been calling, "Oh, Billy, can you help to enroll my case into the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau?" I'm like, no, this is not a training institution. It is an authority responsible to regulate training programs.
I mean, but the name is a bit confusing though. Yes. Is there somebody out there in the public listening to us right now that is also, concerned about understanding this institution more? It is a government institution, it's an autonomous agency of government. It's the ARTB, the Agricultural, Industrial Training Bureau. We have the Director General in the studio. He's Mr. Ibrahim Bele. Mr. Bailey is the Director General of that institution. He's providing us education on the function of this institution, what are its roles and responsibilities, and how the institution works with other institutions, if necessary, to ensure that certain things are done. Like many of you out there, I also thought that it was a training institution. I said, well, but since I am already reporting the natural resource sector, specifically the forestry, I think it's important that I find a way to get to the AITB, enroll and try to get some certificates and so, and prepare myself for the future. I don't know what may happen, but I mean, you've gotten some education, I guess. So you can call us on those numbers 07777 107 107 077 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. We are also live on Sky Communications Liberia Facebook page, Sky FM and TV channel 6 on YouTube, and the Liberia Public Radio in the USA. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm just Victor Awali. I resided on Thursday community, and first I understand the Jeff Honorable Delay, but I actually explained this institution to the Liberians, and also I Honorable Delay for bringing this to the populace, contrary than those who are not believing in a student institution. Because ARTB, I believe, through the expectation that we get mention about the regulatory arm. So if ARTB is a regulatory arm and are responsible for all citizen institutions, and I believe that the Ministry of Youth and Sport, including the Ministry of Education, should give that power to ARTB to monitor and evaluate every institution that actually are involved into TVET and also industrial training. So I think with this power, and more young people will be advanced and quick into be productive with the team. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Trawale. He said that the institution should be more empowered to ensure that it can monitor, it can evaluate, it can supervise other institutions involving into TVET. What do you think? I think this is a very good initiative. When Mr. Ibrahim Bailey got appointed, having worked with him for at least a year in the civil society sector, in the NGO sector, and I was like, "But is it that this guy, the president, created this institution, just to absorb him in government?" But going through readings, and he's always willing to provide education. Said no, but this institution has been in existence, but it's been inactive. You've talked a lot more about your responsibilities, the task you have to execute. Share with us a bit about challenges you inherited in this institution, because if it is just been made known to some people today, it tells you how dormant perhaps it may have been.
Yes, so let me first make this correction from the just caller, that the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Youth and Sport are not the one to give authority to the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau on, the different mandate areas. What the ministries are already doing, is to support the work of the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau. And that has been happening since last year, since our appointments. So since last year, we have been working with the Ministry of Youth and Sport and the Ministry of Education to be able to support capacity building programs, especially in the TVET areas. So this is something, a partnership that we have worked on since last year, and we are collaborating, on the different areas that we work. So there was also a question that you asked on, who is responsible to develop, for example, standardized curriculum for the TVET sector. So that responsibility is actually on the shoulder of all of the different TVET institutions across the country. I'm actually talking about the authorities, the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Youth and Sport, the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau, the TVET institutions. They are, all required to work together to ensure that the different curriculums, the existing curriculums, are reviewed and standardized. So this is something that we'll be working on this year. We'll be working with the Ministry of Education, Youth and Sport, our development partners, the TVET institutions, academic institutions, to be able to standardize the curriculums.
Okay, let's talk to this person, Mr. Bailey. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. You call from where?
Vocational training.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Kamal.
Vocational training center.
Go ahead.
Okay, so let me use the time to employ the
Oh, Kamara left the line, but you can call us back. He's calling from one of the training areas. In fact, the MVTC. Yeah, you were making a statement.
Yes, so I was just sharing with you the way we intend to work with the different partners, including our government colleagues, to ensure that the sector is actually regulated and that the sector is supported to ensure, more capacity building and more job creation for people.
Okay, that's it. Let's hear from you. More callers on those numbers: 07777 221 are the numbers you can call us on to participate on the program this morning. What sort of you have your offices in the MVTC building? Okay, I was about to ask about the kind of building you inherited, and so is this this institution, is it budgeted for? Does government have something in a budget for you, or it passes through another institution to get to you?
The like I said to you, the entity is autonomous, so it has its own budget line.
Okay.
So over time the entity has been receiving budgetary support from the government. Last year when we took over, we had a budget of about 12,000 for consumable goods and services.
12,000 $12,000.
Yeah, besides the one for compensation salary. And we met about 18 persons in the employ of the entity that should be having about 150 staff.
Wait, your institution should have 150 staff?
Yes, because
you met 18 persons there?
18 persons, including us, including the 3 appointed officials. Yes.
And you met 12,000 in the budget?
For operation, for goods and services.
Okay.
So interesting.
Yeah.
So more of what we have been doing last year has been sacrificing to ensure that the entity is active. This year in the 2025 budget, let me say thank you to our colleagues from the Ministry of Finance, the legislators, for being so magnanimous. The budget has improved significantly from above, I think, around 166 to about 700,000.
Okay.
Yes, a significant improvement. We also have managed in recent.
Does that mean you've increased the manpower now?
Yes, definitely. We have replaced in some positions. There are a number of positions that are vacant at the entity. Currently, we are working with the CSA to ensure that some of the vacancies are actually filled.
Who is it? You that has the authority to hire?
No, it is the CSA.
Okay.
But we made recommendation to the CSA that there are actually needs for individual to fill different positions.
So what is the current number of manpower force?
Like I said to you, we met 18.
You met 18, so you've increased it.
We met 18, and then 5 retire. Yeah, the government policy of
5 retire from 65 and you left with 13.
13, yeah. So that is how low capacity the entity is. But currently we are working to replace number of individuals in different positions. I think about around 28, 29, 30. Yeah, between 28, 30. Yeah, to be able to make the entity effective.
What do you think may have been the reason why you met an abandoned institution that possesses within it so much vibrancy, so much responsibility?
So like I said to you, the challenges actually started with having management team. Yeah. Since the war, the entity has had only management team. And because the management team did not have the political will, they also did not have the capacity and innovation or the resources available to them. They also were not able to do a lot. So, more of what has been happening there has been taking salary and working on one of the responsible areas, we made the entity focus mostly on reviewing the existing curriculums that they had and circulating that among some of the TVET institutions. Yes, so there are a number of challenges. Like you've been flipping through the report, you can see the infrastructure, the facility.
Mm-hmm.
So that facility also has not been, renovated for some time. And currently we have received support from the government to be able to renovate that structure.
Okay.
So hopefully, between now to May this year, the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau facilities should be up to date.
Do you have monitors? Do you have inspectors on the field? Say, like the way FDA has rangers in the Bureau Forest monitoring our, reserve areas or so. Do you have people out there, doing monitoring to ensure that there's compliance?
Yes, there's a monitoring unit at the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau. That unit is responsible to carry out compliant monitoring across the country.
Just a moment. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Chi. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. Let's hear you. Hello? Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Chief. I read in your number there's a serious situation on our staff. To be frank, I need to discuss they will use different.
On what sana?
I see around Masatan area.
What's going on, Massa Town?
Yeah, they want Abu Banan carry people, Abu Banan camera carry people in Masatan. They beat our people, fire live wells at the people. Since that time, the kids are still there. Right now, every day, the people coming to our area every day to attack us.
Okay, so the producer will get your number. We'll get back to you. We're discussing something different anyway. But thank you for letting the public know about that. Mr. Bailey, as we draw down the curtains gradually, what kind of institution, what kind of AITB do you see in next maybe 1 year, given the kind of transformation that I'm hearing about?
So, like I said to you, the opportunities we have actually is the support we are receiving from the government. The government has increased budgetary allotment. The government has also increased, the involvement, the consideration of the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau. The bureau now is recognized. Following the appointments and the appointments of the management team and the council members. We also have received support from the Food and Agriculture Organization (FAO) of the United Nations.
Mm-hmm.
So the FAO is supporting the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau to be able to conduct nationwide assessment to map all of the TVET programs across the country. It is also supporting the Agricultural Industrial Training Bureau to be able to develop strategic direction, a roadmap for the TVET sector. When that roadmap is developed, I can say to you with confidence that the TVET programs, the quality within the TVET programs will increase.
Finally, sir, how would you like to close? What would you like to leave with the public? There are many young people, but before you close, there many times we sit down, we look in the communities and see young people going wayward. Some are jobless, some say they out of high school, there's no way to get something to do and think. What can you say to a young person listening to you this morning before you leave about the importance of technical and vocational education?
I think it begins with strengthening the technical and vocational training institutions. So across the country, there are a number of training institutions that are inactive. The government should support those institutions being active, and the training institutions themselves should also start to partner more with government institutions to ensure that the different standards that are being developed to ensure compliance or improvement in the sector actually realized. So to those under my voice, yes, especially the young people, TVET is, a huge area, potential area for growth, especially for, capacity building and for job creation. Most of the TVET institutions, most of the people we talked to last year from the TVET institutions, at least 30% of those graduating from the TVET institutions manage to find job. So TVET is, unlike the formal education that will require you some more, additional capacity enhancement, the TVET programs actually hands-on. And one thing we want to do in the sector is to ensure some level of innovation, creativity. And by that, we want to also work with the different TVET institutions to introduce innovative programs, to introduce entrepreneurship programs within the TVET sector, so that we don't just train the people to go out there to seek job from different companies, industries, but they themselves can be able to create jobs for themselves and for those around them. So another thing we are also keen on is to ensure that the TVET institutions are connected or are linked to the industries, the companies. So, and to do that, we are working with a partner to ensure that we conduct needs assessment of the different employers to understand what are the employers' needs, what do the employers want, what do they want to see coming out of the different TVET programs, and that now can be introduced into the different standards that will be developing to ensure that the TVET programs are strengthened and that they are in line with the industrial needs.
Okay.
So there are several other areas. And I can say this to anyone thinking about the TVET programs. The TVET programs, is really a way through for national growth, national development, and also individual growth or individual development. So moving into TVET or acquiring TVET skills, the relevance is unmeasured.
Thank you so much, Mr. Billy, and thanks for coming to us this morning.
Thank you, Matthias, and thank you for the opportunity. Hope we have more of this, more of this kind of engagement to be able to educate our people on what the technical and vocational training institutions are doing across the country. There are a number of new technologies they are introducing. There are a number of skills they are building. There are a number of opportunities available to young people. All you need to do is to acquire the needed skills to be able to enroll into the different programs. Thank you.
Thank you so much. He's Mr. Ibrahim Billy. Ibrahim Billy is the Director General of the Agricultural and Industrial Training Bureau. He was here with us for about an hour talking about this great institution. And let me quickly also leave you with the information that there is a high power delegation of the Egyptians in going to be in country today to develop a national aquaculture strategy which will inform investment decisions, identify short, medium, and long-term goals, and will address the fish deficit on Liberia's domestic market. This strategy, according to the information, will transition Liberia's aquaculture from underperforming subsistence fish farming to commercial fish farming. That's all the time we have for today's edition of the program Sky Morning Live. Join us tomorrow for the weekend's edition. Until then, have yourselves a wonderful day.